Hi, I'm Nikki from Find Me Crafting. I don't know about you, but I struggle to stay hydrated. It's one of those things that just slips my mind. I'm not really keeping track, and I should be. I should be drinking more water. It's especially a problem for me and my kids over the summer when schedules are just all over the place and we're not in a routine. So this year, we're trying something new. We're trying beaded water trackers. These things take less than 10 minutes to make, super easy. You pop them onto a water bottle, and then when you drink a glass of water, you get to move a bead down. And at the end of the day, when you moved all your beads down, you have one for the day and stayed hydrated. In addition to looking really cute, another fantastic feature of these water trackers is that you can pop them onto the non-reusable water bottle really easily, or grab a water bottle with any sort of handle and you just clip it on. You are ready for the day. They're great for kids, for adults, for fitness lovers, anybody who needs to keep track of their water. And because they're so easy and fast to make, you can make them for pretty much everybody. Come on, I'll show you how. Let's talk about what you're going to need for supplies. You're going to need some 3mm leather cording or lacing, or whatever it's called. This is leather suede. And you need to cut about 24 inches for each one of the water trackers. You're also going to want some beads. I'm using a large eye plastic bead. These are all made of plastic. You can buy some that are made with metal and glass, whatever floats your boat, however much money you want to spend on them. The plastic are more inexpensive. And if you want to go even more inexpensive, pony beads will also work great. For each one of your water trackers, you're going to need some kind of clip, some way to attach it to a water bottle. These are metal ring binder clips. I like these because they are pretty easy to open and close. They're going to fit on a variety of water bottles, and I think they keep them very secure. You could also use a small carabiner. And as for what size to use, it's really just going to depend on how loose you want it to be and where you're going to be attaching it. If you're fitting it onto something like this, I don't have to use a very big ring for it to go around it and keep it completely secure. If instead you're going to be using it just on the top of a non-reusable water bottle, you just need one that's large enough to slip over the top. You just want to be able to do it easily so you're not fighting with it. Just figure out what water bottle you're going to be using it on and pick a size from there. You're also going to want a pair of scissors and some crazy glue or permanent glue just to keep the knot in place. You want to get your beads picked and decide what order you're putting them in. Or if you're like me and you're making this for someone else, such as my daughter, she picked her beads, she picked the order she wants them in. So I'm going to grab my clip and my 24-inch piece of lacing. You want to fold it in half so that your ends meet and you have a loop at one end. And you're going to thread your loop through your ring. This is where it opens, so I'm working on the opposite side of that. I'm going to put my ring in. I've got my loop in one hand and my two ends in the other. I'm going to thread my ends through my loop and just pull it tight, like so. And now you have the knot. I'm going to shift it back over to the side opposite my opening. I'm going to lay it down on my table, and I'm going to start with what I want to be my top bead. I have my left and my right strings. So I'm going to thread my right string from the right to the left. And then I want to thread my left string from the left to the right. Now I have both of my ends, and you just want to gently pull on them so your bead moves up to the top. You want to pull it evenly so that each side is the same amount of tightness. You don't want one side to be tighter than the other. And now we just repeat that process for the other beads. Depending on how you're tracking it, figure out how many beads, how many glasses of water you're going to drink each day. Keeping in mind that as an adult, for example, I am drinking 16-ounce glasses of water. My daughter's drinking more like 8-ounce glasses of water. You just put on as many beads as you need to achieve the water goal each day, to achieve the hydration goal. So with the second bead, I am going to once again thread from the right to the left with my right string, just like that. And I'm going to take my left string and I'm going to go left to right. I'll even those up a little, and now I'm just going to gently pull on both of my ends. And voila, bead number 2 is on. And you're going to repeat that for however many beads you want to put on your water tracker. Once you're done adding on your beads, it's time to tie a knot. You do want to leave yourself at least 1 bead's length in between the knot and your bottom bead so that you can slide it down. I left more than that on mine. This is mine. I have about 2 beads worth because I wanted it to be very dramatic. This is how much I've drunk. This is how much I haven't. If you don't want it to be that dramatic, make your hole just a little bit smaller. You're just gonna grab your bottom and wrap your 2 ends into a knot and give yourself however much distance you want between your knot and the bottom here, whether it's dramatic or less dramatic. Tighten up your knot. I'm gonna add a little bit of crazy glue down here to the knot because I don't want this ever to open. I want it to be totally secure and closed. So I'm going to glue it. And you wanna just trim your ends. I'm leaving a little bit of a tail because it looks like a tassel. I like that look. And then all you have to do is let this dry and it's ready to be used. If you love this DIY beaded water tracker, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a creative project. Happy crafting!